Well, hello and welcome. The number three lesson in Napoleon Hill's 17 principles of personal achievement is applied faith. Faith is a state of mind through which your aims, desires, and plans and purposes may be translated into their physical and financial equivalent. Talk Leadership with Cedric starts right now. Well, hello and welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedric. Everybody needs a little TLC. And today we are excited to be with you again. Talk Leadership with Cedric is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. See, you can't give what you don't have. So in order to grow, you must grow yourself first. See, we believe outstanding leaders like yourself will help us to help others. So tonight, we have another dynamic leader with us. Now, every week I like to do a proper introduction of our guests. So let me do a proper introduction of our special guest tonight. Our guest tonight is Miss Pam Henkel. She is the founder of Purpose by Design. She is an author, a conference speaker, a minister, and a success coach. Her weekly podcasts, vlogs, and blogs are a lifeline of education and inspiration. Pam loves to lead people to dream and to discover their individual potential through realizing their dreams. Pam is a natural motivator and has shown many people how to find their niche and excel. Although success is an uphill battle, Pam gives the necessary strategies to flourish, cheering her clients on every step of the way. Pam shares from her personal experiences, education, and life as a woman in leadership, utilizing decades of knowledge. See, taking the approach of let's have coffee and chat. And I like that. Let's have coffee and chat. She will awaken your dreams and purpose by design. Pamela and her husband, James, have been married since 1995 and have 6 beautiful children, along with their dog, Bailey, 3 cats, 7 birds, all residing in one big happy family in St. Paul, Minnesota. So let's welcome Ms. Pamela Henkel to the show.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to have you here today. Let's just dive right into the conversation, okay?
Sure.
Now, Pam, I read a little bit about you, but our audience really likes to hear from you about your journey to leadership and how did you get to where you are today?
Well, it has been a journey, Cedric, and I want to first say thank you for allowing me the privilege of being here to be with you and with your audience. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. Well, my journey has been unique, as I know everybody else's journey is unique. As a young woman, I really felt like I was supposed to go into ministry. And so I went through the schooling and the education and went into ministry right away and became a pastor. Nobody told me that a woman wasn't supposed to be a pastor. So I jumped in and then I found out I was kind of ahead of the times for that line of work in the vein or the field that I was in. And I got a lot of slack for being a woman and being a senior pastor, being an executive pastor. But, it didn't stop me, Cedric. I can remember having different conversations with different people in ministry, especially other men in ministry, that would kind of give the shove off to me of like, why don't you just go home and take care of your kids? By the way, as you know, I have 6. So that was a viable option. We are a homeschool family. I could have just gone home and taken care of my kids. But I feel like that's we'll talk about that later. That's part of my secret sauce is I know how to juggle it. And so there was a book called The Woman Question, which was written by Kenneth Hagin. And it was the book that changed my heart completely, let me know for sure that I could be a woman, not just in leadership and ministry, but I could be a woman in leadership, period. And I could be a homemaker. I could be a teacher, that I could be the do-it-all Dolly, as you would say. And that was just what pushed me forward. And as I continue to drive forward and say, as a woman in leadership, I can do this, it appeared to me that not only are there women out there like me that maybe need somebody to cheer them on, but I didn't want to isolate myself to just women, but to be that cheerleader and encourager and take everything that I've learned in 25, 30 years and put it together and help as many people along the way as I can. So I hope that answers your question without going into too much detail. It's just been a journey of finding out that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, how to stand up against that crowd that would come against you and say you can't do it, or the own thoughts in your mind, like, are those people right and I'm wrong?
Right.
And being able to press through and handle your entire life, regardless of what stresses you're dealing with. So I find being a woman in leadership still to be challenging sometimes, but extremely rewarding. And I enjoy sharing that with as many as I can.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I like that. The book you mentioned, I put it up on the screen, called The Woman Question.
Yeah.
So I know that, sometimes our audience like to hear about different books, and they may go get that book. So, it's interesting though. I want to follow up on something you said about being a woman in leadership in the church, being a
Mhm.
pastor of a church, and how men kind of like shoved you and said, yeah, go home and make cookies and that type of thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now you would think that in religion that should be all inclusive,
Yeah.
right? If we're teaching this and teaching the spirit of Jesus Christ and how he led, that you would be welcomed into that community. Why do you think that? Because still today there's still some um, stigma, if you will, around women in leading from the pulpit. Why do you think that is still like that?
Oh, great question. And I believe that I have the answer on that, at least my understanding of it. So the Apostle Paul, he was surrounded by women in leadership. And in fact, the Apostle Paul was known for his nicknames for people. A lot of the names that you will read in the scriptures when he's referring to somebody, oftentimes, as you look those up, they're actually nicknames. So how about that? The Apostle Paul liked nicknames. He surrounded himself with women in ministry. So from that standpoint right there, that kind of canceled a lot of things for me when I realized that Paul not only surrounded himself with men, he surrounded himself with women, and that he would send them into ministry. In fact, he would say, hey, Lois, and he would talk about these other women in ministry, and he would tell the men to listen to them. So that was very encouraging to me. But there is a scripture that talks about, and I'm not going to give chapter and verse today because that's
Sure.
not what we're here to do, but I want to be plain.
Sure.
That says women should keep quiet. And that has been very prevalent within faith communities for a long time, that women should keep quiet. But that verse has a very different meaning than what a lot of us feel like it does. And it's in that book that you just put up. So a person could read it and get the full package deal on that. I'm just going to give a brief synopsis of it. When woman be quiet, the word woman in Greek there could mean either woman or it could mean wife. And it wasn't meaning that she couldn't speak. What it meant was in the middle of the service, quote unquote, she shouldn't be yelling out. She shouldn't be going, don't forget to bring home the bread. So as I read through these things and realized not only Paul, but this scripture about the woman question, or about women be quiet, I didn't want to be going against what my creator was asking me to do. I had to dig and search this out for myself. Jesus also was surrounded by many different women. And he didn't say, go in the corner, go in the back and bake cookies, as you put it. He pushed them out into the front. In fact, the first real evangelist was the woman at the well, right?
Right.
And here she was considered to be tainted goods, right? And Jesus didn't hide that. He didn't ignore that. He called her out on it, and not in a shameful way. Yeah, that's right. The man you're with isn't your husband. And by the way, you've been married X amount of times. And she doesn't get all shame-based about it. She goes, oh, I see you're a prophet.
Right.
But he doesn't walk off and leave her at the well and say, go home, little woman, or just encourage her faith and then say, no, go home and bake cookies. He sends her back with a message, and it says that the whole town glorified God. So the first evangelist in my heart is the woman at the well, who was a woman, but she had a past. And if God, in the form of his son Jesus Christ, did not look at her and say, I can't use her, I can't send her back to speak, I can't have her change an entire town because she's a woman and because she has a past. Well, if he could use her, I think he could use any woman on the planet at any time. And not only that, he could use anybody he wants. So that encouraged me that what I was really dealing with in many mainstream areas in my heart was perhaps improper education, and that there were circles that I would be welcomed in, and that's where I would go, and other places where I might cause a schism or make people confused, that I would stay away from there until I was welcomed. Many places I was welcomed into over the years. Doors have opened because people are becoming more settled about that it's not about your gender, it's about your heart.
Right.
So I really believe that that's been a big part of it. It's just the misconception of the position of women in the church and really in leadership in general.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree. And, I put up on the screen the law of respect, right? This is what reminds me of people naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. It doesn't matter race, gender, ethnicity, any of that type stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just following someone that can help take you from point A to point B.
Correct.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your business. I know that you're a pastor. So you might want to tell us a little bit about your church, or I know you're also an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. And so tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, I'd love to. So a number of years ago, when I faced one of those situations with a man minister who basically told me to go home and that I didn't know what I was doing, he didn't have any right to say that. And it was completely based on me being a woman, which he had stated straight out, you should not be, there's no such thing as a woman of the cloth, go home. I did go home. And I contemplated, sorry, my sunlight again, I see it. It's right on my face. It'll go away, guys. You'll be able to see me in full. I went home and I contemplated, what's next? Am I going to just storm the gates of the church world as I'm a woman, kind of have this feminist attitude in the church? I didn't want to do that, Cedric. That's not who I am. I certainly will stand up for equal rights for all. I certainly will say, hey, a woman can lead in the faith world as much as anybody else can. But my heart was to get outside of my church world with a message of purpose, and I call it by design, right?
Right.
Purpose by design, that every single person on the planet, whether they are, whatever their faith background is, whatever their ethnic background is, it doesn't matter, that they do have a purpose in being here. Nobody is put on this earth as an oops. There's no such thing as an oops. Right. Everybody is here with a purpose. And I don't know how you feel, but I fully believe that once we start to dig into that I'm not the oops. Once we start to dig into why am I here and start to get on this path of what I'm here to do, what's my purpose, and to feel value, that I have value, the doors begin to open. Depression lifts off of people. They feel like they have a purpose because they do. they all of a sudden have a focus for their life. And that goal could be, I want to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
It could be, I want to be a better mom. It could be, I want to write a book. I want to start a business. I want to be a better dad. I just need some accountability in my business. I need somebody to coach me and help push me forward. So naturally, as a minister, people came to me all the time with these things. So after that conversation with that gentleman, and I came home and began to have my think time, think, pray, pray. It was very apparent to me that what God had given me was not simply just for the faith world, but it was for the whole world. So I stepped out in faith and began to write, began to coach. And I say, I teach, I speak, teach, and coach success. And that's what I do on a group level, on a one-on-one level. I have online courses, and you already read the rest, the blogs, the vlogs. And it's been amazing how many lives I've had the privilege to touch. And I don't take credit for it, Cedric. You know, I believe that you and I are here for a reason, that we connected. And every place that I go, I believe there's reasons for why I connect with people. I love to add value and see people excel in whatever it is, whether it's at 50 pounds, finding the best cookie recipe. We're kind of on cookies today, which works for Christmas, right? Or, hey, I feel like I'm supposed to start a new business. It's all the same to me. It's what is ever on your heart that you feel that you were supposed to do. I just want to come behind and be your cheerleader. I have experience. I know how to juggle it all. I know how to help craft it into a purpose and plan for you. And again, to me, it's got to be a relaxed atmosphere. Like we have to have coffee and chat, not all serious and formal. If you want serious and formal, it's not me. So that's a little about me and how I launched Purpose by Design, and it's been a real blessing.
Well, that's actually an awesome, information on Purpose by Design, and you'll see in the comments, and you'll see on your screen right now her website, Purpose Path and Power. So go to her website and check out some of the information. Now we're going to continue talking here. So you know, in business, there are a lot of different options that are out there, right? And a lot of different things people bring to the table. And you know, Marcus Davis, who is the owner of a large restaurant here in Houston, said that your audience will tell you either consciously or unconsciously what they want.
Yeah.
Right. So for your business, tell me what kind of separates you from everything else that's out there.
Oh, what great questions. These are such wonderful questions, Cedric. Well, I believe the number one thing that separates me is that I'm real. And I'm not saying that somebody else isn't real. Yesterday, I was doing a live and my kiddo forgot that I was doing a live. My office is in the home, especially right now with the world we live in, and forgot. My kiddo forgot, 10 years old, whips open the door. Mom! So, you know, I want to be real with people right now for Advent, for purposes of my church community and faith community. I'm doing a live Advent study. And, you know, my kids were involved in that last night because I was reading Jotham's Journeys, for anybody that knows Jotham's Journey. And we were just sitting around in front of the fireplace and I'm reading. And some people are watching and some will watch later. And my 11-year-old daughter pulls out this wad of money in the middle of me reading this shepherd story. And it's like such a beautiful story and it's kind of thrilling. And I'm looking at the camera, like I'm looking right now, and I can see her like 1, 2. What is happening right now? You know? So the reason I share that is I'm real. I'm real. So I am not going to sit up all pretty and make everything perfect. I mean, I do my best to be professional, right? Mm-hmm. But my secret sauce is I know about life. I know about life, and I know how to do life and be successful and still have it be real. I also find that as a pastor for years, people really are hungry for some one-on-one with somebody.
Yeah.
And especially right now in a world where you're at home maybe most of the time, and if you're able to go to work, you might not be able to go to your hangout places, whether that be a restaurant or it would be a gym or whatever. People are looking for that communication, and
Right.
whether it is an email, whether it is a one-on-one session, they're hungry for that, just to have somebody pour into them. And that's what I do. I love to have one-on-one sessions and pour into people. I love to add people on my email list. And, I don't think I'm too annoying with emails, but I try to send as much stuff out as I can. To me, Cedric, purpose by design isn't just about standing behind you with pom-poms, although I love to do that. It's not just about, okay, let's take this inventory and that inventory. Okay, let's talk about how we can promote this or that. It's not just about this, but purpose by design is the whole man or the whole woman. It's a whole person. And so there's image by design, there's health by design. There are all kinds of parts of us that fit into our purpose by design. And so I believe there's wisdom by design. I had somebody ask me about essential oils recently. I love essential oils. So one of my emails going out for the whole month of December, I'm highlighting ancient oils, and I'm getting a really good response from people. So to me, purpose by design expands into the whole person, and we can't treat people like numbers. We
Yes.
never should treat people like numbers, right?
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
but especially right now.
Hmm.
So, I wish I could say it was my pedigree, that I had all of this stuff. I am a John Maxwell team member. I am a graduate of the knowledge broker business. I'm proud of those things, but I wouldn't tote them as what sets me apart, because there's John Maxwell team members all over. I'm sitting with one right now across the camera. I
So,
believe it's the heart that makes a difference in a person. And so I want to be there. I want to have coffee with you virtually, and be your cheerleader, but be a part of your life. And so people that I work with, whether it's one time or 100 times, they become part of me, because I want to be part of them. So when it comes to what separates me, what's my secret sauce, I guess that's how I would sum it up, Cedric. I'm real. I just want to have coffee with you. I want to be your cheerleader, and I want to help you create all of that around you in a one-on-one setting where we can communicate,
sure.
and have you feel like you're walking away not getting a checklist. Pamela does this with 30 other people, but Pamela cares. I care.
Yeah, I like that. And this is why I put up, the law of connection says leaders touch the heart before they ask for the hand.
That's
Right.
good.
So that goes right in line with your business and purpose by design. I absolutely love that. So Pam, if one of your clients was sitting right here next to us, if I said, "Oh, let me put her up on the screen or him up on the screen," what
Yes.
would they say about you and about your service?
I hope that they would say that Pamela has changed my life. She has been there for me through thick and thin. It's never been about the money, although monetary things are important. I believe skin in the game is important, right?
You're absolutely.
But I would hope that they would say, and I do have some testimonials on different pages, in the links that you'll be clicking on, that you would hear that my dreams have come true. I have pushed in. One of my dear friends and clients said, I forgot what it was like to dream. And that's where Pamela pushed me to dream again. And for him, it was a very emotional experience. It was emotional for me because it was emotional for him
Mm.
to dream again. So that's what I would hope they would say is, she pushed me lovingly. It changed my life. I'm chasing my dreams. I lost the weight. I found the recipe. I started the business. I started the blog. I started the vlog. I'm not the techo person that's going to tell you how to do all of that stuff. I'm not the techie gal, but I will be real with you and help you change your life.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff right there. And that's impact, right? And that's what helps people better understand themselves and how they then can connect with other people to
So
change
true.
their life, right?
So true, Cedric. So true.
I like that. So, we've had this COVID crisis that's been going on all year long.
Yep.
And I know it's impacted your church. How has that impacted your business or just your daily life?
Oh, well, we are a homeschool family. So for the most part, that part hasn't really changed. In fact, I've been just counting our blessings because I'm in Minnesota and you're in Texas. In Minnesota, we've had lots of shutdowns open, and there's been a lot of COVID spreading like crazy through the schools. So when they say it doesn't spread through the schools, I kind of scratch my head and go, really? So I've been very fortunate that our kids have been home. And I know it's hard on children. My kids were more, I guess, already in that vein. And a lot of the people that I've been actually working with have been families that are all of a sudden at home and going, how do I juggle? And I'm like, hey, I do this all the time. I've done it for years. My oldest daughter's 25. I know how to juggle. And we have a grandbaby now, and I know how to juggle and add the grandbaby in. So, it has been, yes, juggling, but in some ways, for me personally, our family unit has not been as affected because we already were home. It's amazing how quarantined we already were than before. So we already were quarantined. As far as church goes, yeah, there's been an impact because again, we're in Minnesota and things have been shut down a lot more stringently than other places. So we're virtual. I will say that our congregation, if I could use those words, has grown during COVID because we're reaching much further out than just Minnesota. We have people watching from other countries, from other states. So that message of hope is reaching far beyond what it was, which is
that's actually a good thing. I work with pastors, different churches from time to time in terms of helping them understand how to expand their leadership thought process. Because in church for a long time, it's just been leading with an iron fist and not really saying the words, care for your people, but not really
right
displaying that. And then also helping churches better understand how to automate processes, go to online streaming, go to this before COVID, online giving and all this type stuff, because in the past it was, that's the devil's work and we don't want that in the church. And well, I believe this is just Cedric's thought process, and I'm an ordained minister, and I believe that, and I've told some ministers this, that I believe God was sending a message to the churches. That you say that you want to spread the word. You say that everything on heaven and earth, from heaven and earth, was created by me, God, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you say that the internet and online and all that type of stuff is the devil's work. Well, so help me understand the contradiction here, right? And so I've made this technology available to you so that you can go and spread the word, but you refuse to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to take away that comfort zone that you're in. And I'm going to help you stretch and grow and think differently. Jesus did this many times on his journey, helping people understand how to stretch and grow and get outside of their comfort zone.
Right.
And I believe that he was doing this to the church. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take away, your people can't even come in the building. So now what are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to adapt to the technology that I've made available. You see, because people are not going to the street corners anymore, like they used to do in the old days and preach. Right? You have some people that still do it, but not as widespread.
Right.
So all you're doing is talking to the people within your four walls. Well, that's not spreading my word. That's
No.
not getting my message out there. That's not bringing people into the church. Jesus didn't wait for people to come to him. He met them where they were.
That's right.
And I believe that that's the message he was sending to pastors all over the country and all over the world.
Oh, I agree with that, Cedric. I agree with that.
And so now, online streaming, now online giving, because obviously you can reach way more people
right
that way than you can in any other by having people come to you or within the four walls of your church. So that's just my belief that God was sending a message.
No, I believe that. I agree with that 110%. It's so easy to get stuck into programs, and not that the churches globally weren't doing a great job or weren't following, their marching orders, but there's better and there's more that we can do. And once that piece was taken away and people had to learn how to swim, we were prepared because we already, I already had some equipment for things that I was already doing. But we were prepared to go live and to stay live and to not, I haven't gone back. There's been some other churches that I've known that have gone back, and it's been so restrictive here. I just don't have a heart for that. I don't have a heart to tell everybody I have to check their temperature when they come in the door, and that they have to stay 6 feet from each other, and they have to wear a mask. And the only person that can sing is the worship team, and put plexiglass up between them and the rest of the people. I said, why would I do that when people can gather together in groups of 2 or 3 or 4, and we can all connect online, and there's no restrictiveness, and we can connect across the nation, and we can connect across the world with the message of hope and love. So I totally agree with that. It has changed. It has changed the faith community in many ways. And with regard to my business as an entrepreneur, it took off because all of a sudden people were home and they were bombarded with their own thoughts. And what do I do now? And what if? And what's next? And I need somebody to talk to. And I don't mean that in the way of like a therapist, because I'm not a therapist, but I need somebody to talk to. I need an encourager. I need to revamp my life. I need to figure out how to juggle homeschool and business. I need to lose that 50 pounds. How do I do that when there's no gyms open? I want to write that book. I need somebody to hold me accountable, whatever it is. As far as that has gone, and making it so simplistic now that, for a while, I don't know what it was like for you, but for me, there was this little taboo about, oh, we don't go online. We have to meet in person. So for me to work with somebody that was in Houston, they would find somebody in Houston because they wanted to be in person, which I appreciate. But this whole situation, which I don't know how you feel, Cedric, or your audience feels, but I don't think we're going to go back to the way that it was.
I believe that the world has changed forever. I believe in churches have changed forever. It's never going to go back. No, anytime Jesus Christ touched someone, a group of people, or an individual, they were never the same. They never went back to the old way, right? So I believe that it's going to be the exact same thing with churches. It's never going to be the same again.
No, I don't think it is either. And so as that has opened up the doors for interviews like this, to be able to have a Zoom call with somebody and be able to have a mentoring or coaching session with them, to have a group setting that is online, whether it's a mastermind or it's a Facebook group, it has really opened up the doors where it is now acceptable, and it's not considered, well, you won't meet with me in person, we have to do it this way. I think it has changed people's perceptions of what it means to be in an online class. It's not just somebody trying to make money. This is the way the world is running right now. And yes, you pay for that online class. We should. I'm an eternal learner. I love taking classes and learning. It helps me be better as a person, and it helps me be better as an educator and as an entrepreneur. It helps me as a leader. So I'm all for that. But as far as it being a negative on my business, I would say no. In fact, it has been the complete opposite, that my business has grown because people are at home and are looking to partner up. And that's what people need right now, is somebody that has their back, somebody that's their amen corner, I guess I could
Absolutely.
say, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Pam, we have a segment on the show that we call Would You Rather.
Mm,
All right.
yep.
So we're going to play a little bit of Would You Rather. And audience, I want you guys to play along as well. So you can just type yours
Oh,
in the comments.
yay.
All right. So would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
I would say pause.
Pause. Okay. All right. Would you rather be stuck in an elevator or stuck on a ski lift?
Oh, is it winter or is
Yeah.
it summer?
It's
I guess taking the chance it could be winter, I'd rather be inside where it's warm. So I'll say elevator.
elevator. All right. So would you rather meet your great grandparents or meet your great grandchildren?
My great grandchildren.
Great grandchildren.
Yes.
All right. All right. Couple more here. Would you rather pick the year you die or the way you die?
The way.
You don't want to know that year. That's like, this is the year. All right. Would you rather have free Apple products forever or free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
Well, my son is totally into Apple. I use whatever I can get my hands on. So I would probably say the internet everywhere, but that's pretty much everywhere already nowadays. But
Yeah.
yeah, probably the internet.
All right. Last one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
How much in the Amazon gift cards?
1 million.
Oh, Amazon. Amazon, you can get everything there.
Exactly. Everybody buys everything there. Anyway, so awesome. Well, thanks for playing that segment of Would You Rather.
I love it. That was great.
Thank you. Leaders come in different packages with different strengths, right?
Right.
So what strengths do you feel are important for successful leaders?
They don't quit. Number one, you have to be determined, and that's why I believe having a mentor and or coach is invaluable. They will keep you going. They will, hold your feet to the fire and keep you going, right?
Right.
So don't quit. You can't quit, because about the time you quit is about the time everything would turn around, is about the time you'd have that breakthrough. So you can't quit. You have to be in it for the long haul. Success is fun, but it is a journey upward, you know? And so you have to be, another thing I would say is you have to be okay with failure, and not hate it. And in fact, embrace it. Not be, oh, yay, I failed. Oh, this is wonderful. But sort of be that way. I mean, failure is part of growing, right?
Right. Absolutely.
In yoga classes, when they have you do balancing poses and you're on one foot or something, or on your toes, and everybody's wobbling and shaking, inevitably the instructor will say, wobbling is good. And you're going, it is? I feel like I'm going to fall over. I feel like an idiot. But really what's happening is your body's getting stronger. Wobbles and shakes mean you are getting stronger. It means those muscles are working.
Right.
And so they're getting stronger. So this is a big deal when it comes to, sorry about this light. I'm trying to find the place that you can see my face the best. When it comes to being a leader, we have to not be afraid to fall. We have to know that falling is like that wobbling in yoga class that makes us stronger. And we can't quit. And then I think we have to be willing to just do life. We have to be willing to juggle and do life together. The other thing for me that's really important, and I don't know if it is for all leaders, but for me, it's huge. I have to be grateful for all those that are around me, whether it
Mhm.
is those that are above me, that are mentoring me. I have to respect them and listen to them, whether it is my peers that I'm working with, whether it is those that I believe by design have been given the gift to me as a client that I take care of and that I help. We have to be grateful for all of them. And of course, that extends out to our whole entire life, right? Our family, our friends, but also to see what others don't see. I will actually pray it. God, give me your eyes to see this person in your life, the way you see them, the way you made them, your design for them and not my own. And
Mhm.
that has helped me across the board as a leader, as a minister, goodness sakes, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a friend. That little thing, help me see through your eyes and not my own, has been a life changer for me as a coach and mentor. That's huge, because as I ask to see them through the purpose by design that is for them, that they want to chase after, now I can craft my leadership to lead them.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's important that we see others for who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that
Oh,
that's why I put
yes.
up on the screen here. In the book Winning with People, the number 10 principle is believe the best in people usually brings
Yes,
out the best in them, right? Put a 10 on everybody's head.
right there.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely. Yeah,
right.
I
No,
agree with you.
I agree with that. So to me, that's what it comes down to. Leadership is, of course, there's the tactical stuff you have to have, the business stuff, but to me, it's 90% who you are.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, this is great. I love those strengths that you gave. Good leaders ask great questions, Pam.
Yes, it's true.
Um, so, what has been some of the best questions that either you have asked or someone has asked of you, and you went, "Wow, that's a great question."
Oh man, there's been so many, Cedric. One of my number one life altering, and I have it in the Purpose by Design online course. Excuse me. But one of my favorites is, is it's not called What's Next. It's called and what about that? What about that? Isn't that just funny? It sounds like it's in the middle of a sentence.
Right.
But that question, asking it over and over and over again, will bring you to the root of why you are doing what you do. So, what about being a pastor makes you happy? That was where it started for me. Well, helping others. What about helping others makes you happy? Because I see them succeed. Now I'm just giving like snippets of what my answers
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
What about helping succeed makes you happy? What about that? What about that? Because when people succeed, I feel joy, and I'm seeing other people succeed. It's a value.
Hmm.
What about that? Why does that give you joy? Anyways, this went down. We had to go through it in a session. 10 to 15 times you had to ask this question. And so by the time I got to the last one, I was in tears, Cedric. I was like, whoa, I need a box of Kleenex. They weren't just little tears. I mean, can I be real here? Snot-nosed tears. And my final answer was this. What about that? Because I live to add value to others' lives.
Wow.
And that was it. So we went from layer to layer to layer to layer to layer and got down to it. What makes Pamela tick? What is she here to do? Yes, purpose by design is as part of it. Yes, as a minister, that's part of it. As a mother, as a wife. But what is the core of who I am? It's to add
Hmm.
value to
Yeah.
others, which I think for many of us, we would maybe come to that same conclusion. But that has been a teaching that has grounded me and that has stayed with me. And it's been a plumb line, Cedric. If it's not adding value, then I have no place for it.
Wow. Say that again. I like it.
If it's not adding value, I have no place for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I really love that. And audience, I hope you pick up on that. If it's not adding value to your life, not adding value to your family's life, not
Yeah.
adding value to someone that's close to you's life, then why do it? Right?
Right. Get rid of it.
Absolutely love that. That's a great question. And I love the 5 levels deep with this.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yes.
Um, question.
And
Wow.
you can go as deep as you want. You know,
Mhm.
there have been times when I've worked with somebody and we get to like 5 or 6 levels, and I'm like, we're not there yet. And we keep going. And it's gone sometimes 10 levels deep, 12 levels deep, before a person makes that connection.
Yeah,
But
and
to
have that
me,
breakthrough.
what about that has been a life changer?
Wow. Well, that's awesome. I really like that. And audience, definitely, if you don't have someone in your life that's going to help you get that deep within yourself to better understand yourself and to have that breakthrough, then you need to find that person that's going to challenge you and question you and help you um, have that breakthrough. Because when you do, it changes your life forever.
Everything.
Yeah, everything opens up. So many times new entrepreneurs give up, they throw in the towel. What advice would you and actually one of the things that your first strength you said was don't quit, be in it for the long haul. So what advice would you give to that person that right now they're questioning whether they should give up on their dream because COVID hit and now it messed up their plans for their business, so they're struggling, or they were struggling before COVID hit, and they thinking, well, maybe this is not for me, or someone in their life is telling them, why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
Well, two things. Number one, if they really think that dream has died, I would say dream another dream. Then it's time to dream another dream. You know, we have some friends with a restaurant that has gone out of business. It's a reality.
Hmm.
It's time to dream another dream.
Right.
So, number one, I know that during COVID and the condition of the world right now, that there's reality, there's factual things, there's
Sure.
things that are happening that cause us to have to bend and weave and reinvent the wheel. So, if you're in that place, it's okay.
Hmm.
Dream another dream. It's time for a new chapter. Number two, what Cedric said, he said, they're about to throw in the towel. And my thought was, super glue that towel to your hand first and give me the other end. So as you're trying to throw it, you can't let go of it. And or Cedric, we're going to give that other end to somebody, if not to us. Give it to somebody that is going to pull you back up. Don't throw in that towel, even if it means you have to dream another dream. It is okay for a dream to be fulfilled. It's okay for a dream to die. What we don't want to do is quit dreaming.
Yes, I love that. Dream another dream. I want to put that on the screen because
Yay!
people need to hear that. People need to see that and think through that versus just easily saying, I'm quitting, I'm giving up, this is not for me.
Dream another dream.
Dream another dream.
Yeah.
Right. If you're out there in the audience and you're listening tonight and you're ready to dream another dream, just type in the comments, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. Just type in the comments, I'm ready. And here's what it's going to do for you, right? Because you said I'm ready, it's going to open your consciousness up.
So true.
To new dreams. It's going to open your mind to new opportunities, new possibilities. And you're going to find someone is going to come into your life and help you dream another dream. Just type in the comments if you're ready for that. Now, if you're not ready, if you're not ready and you're scared, don't type it in. See, because God is he's not gonna work with you there.
That's true.
He's gonna work with you when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna come and he's gonna send that person, that thing, that right message to you. So if you're ready to dream another dream, go ahead and say, I'm ready.
Yeah. And if you're not ready, what Cedric just said is perfect, Because if you're not ready, that's okay. There's no shame in that.
Sure.
Remember, I said, take that towel and glue it to your hand, right?
Hmm.
So who's that person that you can confide in, that can be encouraging you or praying for you or just checking in on you, whatever it is you need right now,
Right.
so that you don't just throw in the towel. We don't want to do anything when we're hesitating. When
Right.
we're in, I don't know, maybe should I? That's not the time to make a decision. That's the time to pause. That's where
Right.
we need that pause button. And we all have it in our life. We might not be able to stop the clock, but we can stop the inner clock thought. And we can say, I need to pause and I need to just let everything settle, and so that I can see the forest through the trees. So if you're not ready to type that in, that is okay.
Hmm.
You're on your journey where you're at, but find that person that will be there with you, be your buddy, be your helper right now. Because even admitting I'm not ready to be ready,
Hmm.
as Cedric said, opens you up. It opens your mind up, it opens your heart up, and it brings into your life what you need. Just
Absolutely.
by making that choice, you're here by design listening to us right now.
Yes, absolutely. So, Pam, so tell us, what's been one of the most defining moments in your life so far?
Oh gosh, there's been so many defining moments. I could say it was being face to face with the woman question, certainly was one. Becoming a mother, that is definitely defining. Um, Being a wife is definitely defining. But one of the more recent ones for me doesn't have anything to do with business, doesn't have anything to do really even with faith. It was becoming a grandparent.
No.
That was just a defining moment for me that, oh, I didn't feel like I had crossed over and become old. I plan on being young all the way through my life, right?
Right.
But it was a defining moment when you have that second generation that you're leading, and that just having just being a grandparent, all grandparents I'm sure out there could give me a hard amen right now and say it is the best thing going. I love being a grandma, and I look forward to more and more grandchildren as all six of them get older, get married, and have kids. So that has been an incredible defining moment for me. And my grandbaby lives close to me, so I see them, the whole family, quite often.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, well, you know, we've all had successes in our lives, right? But we've also had failures in our
Mhm.
lives. And, I know we don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about them a lot of times. And sometimes we get scared to even tell people about times that we failed. But it's only because we don't believe people know. They already know that you failed.
True.
It's just a matter, are we admitting it, right? So
Right.
tell us about a time that you failed and what was the lesson you learned from that failure?
Ooh. Well, when I first was up against um, all of the trouble that was coming at me in regards to woman in leadership, my knee-jerk reaction was not to get mad and storm. My knee-jerk reaction was the opposite. It was to shut down. It was to cower. It was to fold. My natural instinct is I don't want confrontation, and that's still me today. I don't want confrontation. I'm here to be to be a maker of peace. And so I just sort of backed away. I mean, I got up, I did my Sunday services, prayed with people, went to the office, but my heart was no longer there, and I was really kind of waxing cold in what I was doing. And that to me, I when I realized what I was doing, I wasn't leading. I wasn't even living. I was existing. And I was letting the junk that the people were saying, and important people, or so I thought because of
Well,
their titles or whatever. I began to wear that as a badge, and it started to show. And I realized when people that I was speaking into their lives, whether it was at church or elsewhere, when their responses to me began to change, and instead of me being with them causing a positive reaction to come from them, that I was seeing more of this negative coming from them, or I was experiencing pity parties more often. And it was like they were expecting me to join in with them, Cedric. I realized I don't want to live like that. That's not who I am. Not who I am.
Right.
And I remember not an exact moment of all those things happening, but that collaboration of all of that kind of piling up on me. And I was at home and I was with one of my little ones, and we were up in the middle of the night doing those midnight feedings. And I was looking into her face and I said, "You are not going to see your mother quit. You're not going to see her quit.
Wow.
My children are going to grow up seeing their mother press through whatever life throws at her.
Wow.
And they're not going to see me cower, whether it's in the faith world or the business world. I am going to teach them by my example." And so it was a low point, because I realized as I was sitting there doing the motherly thing that mothers do or fathers do in the middle of the night, and those thoughts all come creeping in, because what else is there to do at 2 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
That I really was compromising my own values and my own leadership. And that is what I was going to display towards not just that little one, but I had older ones that were just entering into teenage years then. So I made a choice. And from that point, I put together a 5-year plan with schooling, academics, reaching out in the community, getting mentors. I'm a big mentor person, coach person. And I just stepped out of the boat and walked on water. And sometimes I sank, Cedric, and sometimes I got really wet. Sometimes I was choking. But, like I said, you don't quit.
Right. Wow. I absolutely love that. And, Pam, the way you just sum that up and put it there for people really should help someone tonight
Yes.
better understand.
Don't quit.
Have a purpose for their life.
Yeah.
Right. And I love your business name, Purpose by Design. And so your summation really encapsulates this purpose by design. It's been a wonderful hour having you here. I definitely enjoyed having you on the show. See Pam's website, purposepathandpower.com.
Yes.
Whether you want to order a book, whether you want to get an online course, if you want to see what she's doing, you want to follow up with her, go to their website, purposepathandpower.com, and you'll be able to see that. You can follow her on her blog there as well, and her podcast there as well. Again, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Folks, you've noticed that some of my online material, my marketing collateral, some of my backgrounds have been different, have been better, have been up-leveled. And you can get some of this from one of our sponsors at Internal Alignment. I know the owner very well. Ms. Joanna Rincon is the CEO and founder of Internal Alignment. So if you want to up-level your business, your marketing collateral, your social media collateral, and want some nice, pretty, fancy collateral material for that, reach out to Ms. Joanna Rincon. It's RINCON at Internal Alignment, and she can help you. Now, I have a lot of different shows, and I always want you to come and check out Talk Leadership with Cedric, whether that's on Monday nights at 6:30 Central Time or Tuesday nights at 5:30 Central Time, right here on Facebook and YouTube. You can hear Talk Leadership with Cedric. And, like I always say, everybody needs a little TLC. And you can also catch me on the Empower Living Network with the Black Entrepreneurs Institute live show every Tuesday night, 6:30 Central Time. And then you can catch me on my talk radio show on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time as well. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Don't be on the menu. Thank you and good night.